Hey guys, Thogden here, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, we're going through the bottom 7 in the Premier League, and we're doing it because the January transfer window's over, the final squads are confirmed till the end of the season. I know we predicted the Premier League bottom at the start of the year. Let's have a refreshed list. We're going for the bottom 7 teams, so I'm sorry if you're a team like Palace. We're not talking about you, which is a good thing, because we think you're going to stay up. We don't even have to bother. But we will talk about Everton. It's where we're going to start. Is that the right thing to do?
That is the right thing to do, Theo. Now, Everton have a terrible recent record, 1 point in the last 5 games. That's as bad as Watford, but my goodness, they've spent massive, haven't they?
Okay, hold on.
The transfer window.
Hold on. We're talking about relegation. And we're talking about the Toffees.
Yeah.
They've got Frank Lampard. A lot more money and budgets than every other team we're going to speak about today. Why are we talking about them getting relegated?
Well, Theo, it's time for a Thog Dad fact, I think. The last time that Everton were relegated was in 1951. That's 71 years ago.
So they've been 71 years in the top division.
That was the last time they were relegated. They came back in 1954, and since then they've never gone down.
One of the only teams in the Premier League that have been there for such a long range of time.
Yeah, I think Arsenal have been there the longest, but Everton are a permanent fixture in the top tier.
So are they going down? Is this a silly question that we put them in this video? Frank Lampard's come in. He's brought in Dele Alli, Donny van der Beek, Mikalenko. The list goes on. Will it work?
Yes, it will, Theo. It's been a terrible season for Everton, but they will do enough to survive. No worries. I'm going to put them in 15th place.
I put them in 14th, which is the highest position out of the 14 to 20. So they could be higher, but because we're talking about them, I put them in the best position. I think Lampard will do a good job, especially with the youth and bringing Anthony Gordon to be a regular first-team player. I want to see him smash it.
And I tell you what, Nathan Patterson, the young Scottish lad, I think he's going to do wonders for Everton.
He's got to do well under Lampard. Did well under Gerrard up in Rangers. Now it's time to see if he can do it in the English leagues. And I'm sure under Lampard's guidance, he'll be all right.
Brentford now, they've lost 4 in a row, but they are 8 points above the relegation zone, so squeaky bum time. But they've got global headlines. Christian Eriksen is on his way to the Brentford Community Stadium.
What a signing. Unbelievable. They're 8 points adrift from the bottom of the relegation pack. They're not going down. Christian Eriksen's still a great player. I think he'll get back to his best.
But Theo, what about Ivan Toney? He said a silly thing on holiday, didn't he?
Actually, I've got an update about that. Biggest news. Have you heard the update? No.
I haven't. No, tell me.
Brentford striker Ivan Toney has explained his F Brentford video. The striker said, I was actually saying Brentford because I went to the Ford dealership in Brent and was very disappointed with their range of Ford Fiestas.
That is hilarious.
All of you hating on what he said out on holiday in Dubai, he's just angry about the Ford selection. You were worried.
I tell you what, joking aside, why do you say something like that? I guess he'd had a few bevies.
Joke! He's still going to bag goals for Brentford. And Thomas Frank, he's not going down with this team. Matthew Benham's boys are staying in the Premier League till next year. They've got a good team, don't they?
I'm putting them 16th. They'll survive.
Yeah, I'm putting them 15th. A little bit higher. Jump up a couple places. Why not?
Watford now, like Everton, they've only got 1 point in the last 5 games. That is terrible form. But Watford are a funny old team, Theo. Yeah. They fluctuate from wonderful to absolutely woeful, don't they?
Spot on, Thog Dad. Roy Hodgson's come in. 5 new signings, none of which stand out to me, like a Christian Eriksen or a Bruno Guimaraes. There's no big name, is there?
There isn't, Theo. I don't understand how this club is run. They sack managers all the time. The turnover of players is high. Like I said, Theo, on the day, you've got Dennis up front. You've got Sarr in the team. You've got Josh King. You've got some good players there who on the day can score goals.
Sarr's bagged goals in AFCON. Let's see if we can fire him up back in the Premier League, because that's Watford's saviour. He did it in the Championship to bring them up last season. He's by far the best Watford player, or of course the almighty Ben Foster, who goes first. If they get them all fit and ready, can Watford stay up?
They can, but they won't. I'm going for 19th place. I've said this all season.
I'm going 20th.
Oh, harsh, man.
Bottom. Fozzie proved me wrong, but look, mate, when you compare your team to the rest, it's just difficult.
Leeds United now, they're 7 points above the relegation zone. They won 2 games in a row, and then they lost at home to Newcastle. But Theo, surely they're staying up.
Surely we're not talking about Leeds getting relegated here.
Well, we have to, don't we? Because of where they are, Theo. Because of their injury woes. They've been very unlucky this season.
And they haven't invested in January. I thought with the likes of Forshaw playing in Leeds United midfield on a regular, they'd go and sign a central midfielder, another centre-back, a backup forward when as we've seen strikers get injured like Patrick Bamford. What if tomorrow Rafinha is out for a few months?
Yeah, truth there, but the Leeds owners are not the richest owners in the division, so I think they're being very sensible. I think you look at the Leeds team, they've got 2 or 3 world-class players. We've got to talk about Rafinha, who is bloody brilliant. You've got to talk about Calvin Phillips. When he gets back, he's one of the best players in the league. Jack Harrison is coming together, Theo.
Let's start with player for player. Calvin Phillips is an England midfield regular. Him and Declan Rice control that holding mid-line. And he'll do the same thing for Leeds United. We know when he's out the team, they're not great defending. The defence doesn't realise how good of a cover he is, because when he's missing, that's how exposed they are. That's what Calvin Phillips can bring to Leeds United. If he comes back to his best, there's not a chance in hell they're going down.
And I tell you what, Patrick Bamford is coming back, but I like Joe Geldhard. He's looked like a right talent.
And like you said, Geldhard, Harrison, if they're scoring like they have been lately, I know Geldhard's hit and miss. He's won some penalties. He'll come off the bench, cause a problem. But Jack Harrison can be a regular scorer. We saw it last year and more recently at the moment. If Harrison and Rafinha can get some goal-scoring competition going, previously years they did that, then they'll be fine. Leeds will climb up the table like they did last year and push into the upper top 10, you know?
Absolutely, Theo. I'm going for 14th place. You're going to be safe.
I put them 16th, and that's partly because of injuries and not knowing when the players are going to return. And their backups, they're not as strong. I thought they would have invested in rotational players. Tell us in the comments, Leeds fans, what do you need? Was it a bad window for you that you didn't invest? Because I'm unsure.
Norwich City now, and as of today, they are not in the relegation zone. Let's not forget, there's been no football for ages, but they won the last 2 games. Can they survive?
They've been so unlucky that when they're on the momentum run, Dean Smith smashing it, all of a sudden the game stop and an international break hits. It's like, that's the last thing you want when you've won 3 of your last 4 games in a relegation battle, which you've just got out of with the cheapest team. The ones that everyone calls the yo-yo squad, the ones that are already relegated. And that team is out of the relegation zone right now. It's an incredible story so far, but can they keep it up?
Well, Theo, they spent 50 million in the summer, didn't they? I don't think they spent it that well. Obviously, in January, they've not spent a penny because, again, Delia Smith and co, they're not the richest owners. I'll be quite honest. I think Norwich could be rock bottom here.
What?
I'm going for 20th place.
Norwich 20th?
Yes.
Well, I've already said Watford in my 20th, so I'm going to have to stick them 19th. And it's simply because they didn't invest in January. If they made one top signing, like a Bruno Guimaraes for Newcastle, Ericsson, you've seen Trippier go to Newcastle. These teams you're competing with to stay in the hardest division in the world are buying players that are worth 3 or 4 wage bills on your team. I'm sorry, Norwich can't compete with that. It's unfair. And if Newcastle go down, they'll have serious problems with FFP because they're not going to be able to afford it under the regulations. Norwich are a team that will bounce back in the Championship. You know, if they do go down, I know Norwich fans don't want to hear this, but they will bounce back into the Prem. And I think they will get to a year eventually when they've got a very good settled team in the Premier League that will stay up convincingly. They just don't have that yet.
Newcastle United now, the Geordies have got 5 points from the last 3 games, and my goodness, have they spent money. And I'm going to go straight to it. Bruno Guimaraes, Theo, what a player.
What an incredible player. From what I've heard of him at Lyon, exciting, creative midfielder, can push on, help out with the attack, link up with the Brazilian brother Joe Linton in that midfield. John Joe Shelby behind him. This ain't a team that's going to get relegated. St. Maximan, Callum Wilson, Chris Wood, these are all options going for. I'm sorry. And then you've got fullbacks of Trippier and Matt Targett. I'm telling you, Newcastle's team is now too good.
And Dan Burn, let's not forget him. Bullet header, the tall lad. And let's not forget Chris Wood up front.
I already mentioned him. But that's a good point because they've got so much squad depth now. Their wage bill is levels higher than all the other competition at the bottom of the table. But look, we knew this would happen with the Saudi owners. They've got money and it's going to keep them in the Premier League.
Theo, I reckon 3 of those 5 signings are short term. It's all about staying in the division. And I think they've bought their way up. I think they've spent enough money.
Fuck that.
17th place. They will survive.
So just to mention, I've got Newcastle and Burnley to talk about. 18th and 17th position. 18th is relegation, 17th is survival.
Wow.
I'm going to put this out now. Who's staying up? Newcastle or Burnley? Drum roll, please. The Saudi boys.
Wow.
They're staying up. Money talks. Bruno Guimaraes. They're staying up. On to the final team, Burnley. And the reason I put them in that final relegation spot. Now, don't get me wrong. They will improve. They're currently bottom of the table. Loads of games in hand. Wout Weghorst. What a signing. I'm telling you, the Dutchman's going to score a few. But they missed out on a winger and a creative midfielder. The winger we were linked with and was meant to have signed was the Croatian Mislav Orsic, the hat-trick goal scorer in the Conference League against Tottenham. Him, Cornet and Weghorst would have been a front three that I would have backed to stay up in the Premier League, but it wasn't to be.
Now, Burnley have got 4 games in hand, haven't they, Theo? They've only lost 8 times this season. You really think they're going to go down?
Yes, I do. Because, look at the competition. Have you kept Burnley up, Dad?
I will point out they are better defensively than Man United this season. I'm not writing them off. I think Sean Dyche is an excellent manager.
Right.
I'm excited by Weghorst. I'm excited by Cornet, but I think it's going to be very close. I'm sorry. Burnley are going down.
And if you disagree with us in the comments, I want to hear it. Everybody go down to the comments. Tell us the 3 teams that are getting relegated. Because we agree that it's going to be Watford, Norwich and Burnley.
And the thing is, Theo, I've said this all season. I was
Really?
saying the same in July. Those
You said
3
that?
teams. Yes.
That's insane. I think I kept Burnley up.
You sent Brentford down.
Did I really
I think
send...
you did, yeah.
I sent Brentford down, but at the time, it didn't look as good. They didn't have Ericsson. I didn't know they'd be as full throttle kind of attacking play. They really link up. I'm really surprised by how good Brentford have been this season. I've got this one wrong, so it's good that we're looking back at it now and kind of mixing it up, because I genuinely believe Burnley, Norwich and Watford are going down. We agree on that. If you are in the comments and you agree with us, it's a little bit boring. Mix it up. Go for something else, and then we'll look back at the comment section, what you guys say, and us in a few months' time when it's decided. That'll be funny. Everton could easily push for like top 10. They should be looking for that, but it's whether Ali, Van der Beek, will they click?
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this video. How many likes do you want, Thogden?
Oh, come on, give us 8,000 likes.
No, we need 5-figure likes, or I'm not bothering. 10k likes.
Wow.
Do it, and I will literally, I'm going to get a pen on the next video and write mug on his shoulder, on Thogdad's shoulder. I'm going to write mug from a pen. It's not going to be a tattoo. You might need to give your shirt a wash, but I'm going to do it for 10k likes.
And the video's finished. There's not been a single meerkat in this video. Oi, not me, meerkats.